Hello and welcome back to LilyLuLou after a very long break, and Happy New Year to you all. So I'm here today to start on my latest project. If you're new here, my name is Karen, I'm the Junk Journal Geek. Sorry about the noise in the background, that's Max, my dog, playing with one of his noisy toys, and he's trying to put it in my craft box. Take it out, Max. Come on the couch or you have to go in your bed. Good boy. So yes, I've had a very long break and I've just got my craft desk back together. Well, it's not really together, but it's clear so I can work since the Christmas break, and I'm better now after having had the flu for most of December. So today I'm starting on the Journal Monthly. This is sort of a craft along, I suppose you'd call it, that's hosted by Claire at Purple Poppy, and she used some packaging paper, some lace, an image, and one of those postal boxes that fits through your letterbox to make a journal cover. Well, I can't find one of those boxes. I'm sure I have them somewhere, but I did have this piece of card which I thought I would cut down and use as my journal cover. Sorry for the state of my hands. I have been cleaning like mad, putting all the Christmas decorations away, and my nails are a bit grubby. Yeah, so I'm going to use this piece of card. So let's get started. So I know I want an inch spine because that's what Claire had. And I think we're going to go this way to keep it roughly the same sort of size as Claire's. It's not going to be the same size, but it will be near enough. So I'm going to cut an inch off of the edge of this. That will be my spine piece. Now everything, my craft desk is in my living room, in between the kitchen and the living room. The dining table's in the kitchen, so this is a very small house. So over Christmas I had to put everything away because we needed the space, and some of my stuff went up in the loft and some of it went in the garage and some of it was shoved in cupboards. So I think I've got back out everything I'm going to need, and because this project is using sort of, I'm going to turn this sideways a little bit because I'm coming off the edge of my mat and I don't want to cut my desk, and I can't get this all on screen anyway, so I do apologise. Yeah, I think I've got back together everything I need, but I thought if I start this project first, as it's using sort of leftover bits and pieces, hopefully I'll have everything here that I need. Right, so that leaves me with a piece that is just over 50, it's like 15¼ inches wide. So half of 15¼ is going to be, half of 15 is 7½, and then another 1/8 after that. I can probably use this, can't I? So how are you all? I hope you've all had a lovely Christmas and New Year. We've had lots happen. We've had lots of illness. I had the flu. Elsewhere in the family we had COVID, 7½ and 1 past that. And then at the end of last year, our new granddaughter arrived. That was a lovely end to the year after a bit of a pants period, really. But because I got ill, I think it was just at the end of the first week in December, I haven't done any crafting since then. No, I tell a lie. I have done some crafting, but not paper crafting. I did, you may have seen on my Instagram, before I packed my Cricut machine away, which was literally Christmas week, I personalised my grandchildren's stockings and my daughter's sack and made a couple of mugs for the ladies that walk Max. And then I packed everything away. But I hadn't done anything before that because I was so poorly. And I've been watching Carol Laws over the last few days, and she's at the tail end of something. And I don't know how she's carrying on making videos because I literally couldn't do anything. Right, so now I've got a front and a back. Can I lift you up a little bit so that you can see a bit more of what I'm doing? Sorry if this is jogging you or making you feel sick. The arm of my tripod isn't really long enough to get where I need you to be. That's as good as I'm going to get, isn't it? Right, so we've got a front cover, a back cover and a spine. Could have made that spine a little bit wider, really. Not sure that that's going to be enough. So let's see what this measures, because Claire's cover measured 11 by 7 with a 1-inch spine. So this is just over 7.5, isn't it? Because we've just done that. And it is, what's the height? Just over 11.5. So what I'm just wondering if this is too big for the 1-inch spine. I don't know. I might just trim it down a little bit to get it more similar to Claire's size. And also the corner of this and this corner is a little bit damaged, so it won't hurt to take a little bit off. So if I bring this down to 11, so this year Claire did a journal monthly series last year, but last year we did a journal a month. This year we're going to be making the same journal all through the year and making bits and pieces for the journal as I understand it. I'm sure Claire will correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. And Claire's done it in such a way that if you don't want to commit to making, you know, to working on the same journal all year through, each week we will work on something, or each month it will be a piece that will work independently of the journal, if that makes sense. So at the moment we're working on the cover, so it is a journal cover, but it doesn't necessarily need to be a cover for a journal that you're going to work on all year. I hope that makes sense. I feel like I'm rambling. Totally lost the plot when it comes to crafting and videoing. I was sitting at my desk this morning thinking, what do I need? What am I doing? Where do I start? It's funny how a break can do that to you. So it's early Sunday morning here. I'm hoping this video will go up today. I'm trying to be quiet because my husband's on night, so he's in bed. Do I want to take the width down a bit? Yeah, we might as well make it the same if we're taking it down, mightn't we? So, I mean, obviously it doesn't have to be the same size as Claire's, but if I'm cutting it down anyway, I may as well make it the same size. So my idea for this journal is, because we're going to be, or I'm going to be working on it all through the year, I've grabbed a box and I thought every time I finish a journal this year, anything left over, I'm going to chuck in this box and use it for this journal. So at the end of the year, it will be like a journal of journals for 2024, if you see what I mean. That's my plan. And my plan also this year is to not buy digitals. I am a member of the design team for Sunny Creates, so I get to use her digitals for my projects. I am also a member of the Digital Collage Club, so I have access to loads and loads and loads of digis with that. And since I've been making junk journals, I have literally bought so many kits. Some of them I've never even used. And so this is my year of not buying digitals. But I am giving myself a little caveat to that, because there are a couple of journals on my list that I want to make. And if I need specific kits or images to do those journals, then I will allow myself to buy a kit if I don't have anything suitable that I can use. But other than that, just my normal crafting, I'm not going to buy any journals. Right, so I've cut that down. It feels like it's taken me ages just to do that. So now I have to join these together. And I'm hoping that in my box I have some tape. I do have some tape. So I'm wondering how if I can stick this sort of centrally on here. This is what sort of tape is it? I was going to say it's packaging tape, but it's not. It's, I think it might be carpenter's tape that people who lay carpets use. I'm going to try and get that on there straight-ish. It's stuck to my, it's very, very sticky. It's stuck to my fingers. That's not straight-ish at all. That's a little bit better. And then we want to leave, if I stick my head under the camera, I apologise, but I need to try and see what I'm doing here. What I'm trying to do is get the width of this piece away from the spine, so that you can see there's a little tiny gap there which will allow, probably could have moved that over just slightly more actually, but will allow that to bend. And I'm trying to line the top and the bottom up. Looks like I have a bit of an issue there, but still. Right, so that needs to go about there. That's too wide. Right, so hopefully that will work. Well, it's opening and closing, so that's a good start. And I'll just stick a piece over this side. And now I have got basically what Claire had, which is the beginnings of a cover. Oops. So it just shows when you're watching other people's videos, you don't have to have all of the things they have to make what they're making. You can always improvise. So that's my cover. Just give those folds a little bit of memory. Make sure they know what they're supposed to be doing. And then what Claire did was covered hers with packaging paper, which is why I've got all my packaging paper out. But she had some light coloured packaging paper, and she scrunched it up and stuck it on, and then she ran over it with an ink pad with brown ink, and it looked amazing. It looked like a forest in the winter, you know, with just the tree trunks and branches, and really atmospheric. But that scrunching up and all that business is not really me. And also I didn't think I had any light coloured paper that would show up. And then I found this packaging paper, but it's stuck together in the middle. So this is one sheet, but it's stuck together in the middle there. So I could probably still use it to cover. Let's see what this looks like. Sorry for the noise. I don't know if this is going to work. And it's perforated. When it's stuck down, that probably won't matter, but it's not really. I'm going to need to use probably 3 blocks to get it covered. Let's have a look. And I thought if I do the going over it, instead of using ink, I'd probably use my gold. Let's get the gold out and see what that looks like before I it's not really picking up the folds. It's doing more than just the folds. I think that might be all right. I'm doing this very lightly. This is metallic gilding polish, and it's by Cosmic Shimmer, in case you're wondering. And I am intending to stick some lace on this, I think. I was thinking of putting lace all over it rather than doing this, but we'll see. See how we go. I think that might be all right. Because there is 2 layers, it sort of feels quite nice. Let's just pop that out the way for the moment. Maybe I should, oh dear, look, I'm making a mess already. Pop that, oh. Trying to get these little lumps of gold out the way, because they're going to go over everything. Put them on my glue mat. So I could stick a piece there, although it's going to overlap, isn't it? How will that look? I wonder if that would meet in the middle, and I could, where's that other piece? I'll just put these bits out the way. Sorry, I'm thinking as I'm doing this. I think if they met in the middle, and then I could put a strip of lace or something down there to reinforce the spine where they join. I wonder if that would work, if it would be a weakness using the journal, or if it would be okay. Give a bash and see what happens. So let's get a bit of gold on here to start with. Sorry if I keep stretching the video. I don't know why I've got it over. Oops, that was a bit much. I don't know why I've put the pot right over there, out of reach, when I can put it right next to me. This paper feels like it's coated in something plasticky, so I'm not 100% certain that this gold is going to stay on. Now I've got half up there that's really bright, and down here nothing's happening. Why is that? I think my gold might need a drop of water on it. The light in here is appalling today, so I hope you can see what I'm doing. I have got the electric light on. I don't know where Max has gone, but it's been very quiet. So I can't see any shadows on my screen, but if there are shadows and you can't see very well, I do apologise. Still trying to work out the best way to be set up here in the lounge. Right, now let's stick this on and see what happens. This glue pen came, if you've been watching me a while, you'll know I did a cricket course last year because my eldest daughter is getting married this year and she's asked me to make lots of bits and pieces for the wedding. I'm doing the invitations and the brides, you know, things for the bridesmaids. And I've had my cricket machine for a few years now, but I've never really used it. I've made the odd thing. And I never sort of really had the time to sit and play with it. And I was a bit intimidated. And that gave me the motivation to, you know, get on and start sorting it out. So I did this course. And part of the course was you got sent a kit of things to use during the course, and this glue was one of the things I was sent. Now obviously, as this is double layered and it's not stuck together apart from the middle, obviously needs to glue that together. Yes, I haven't really used this glue before. As I was getting everything out this morning, I got my art glitter glue out, and I thought, and my fabric glue, I thought, well, I haven't used those for weeks, so goodness only knows if they will actually cooperate. And then I saw this glue and I thought, well, I could have a bash with this. This sounds really loud as I'm doing it, scraping this. I hope it's not as loud on camera, but if it is, I do apologise. Right, let's get some glue on this side. So how did you all get on at Christmas? Did you have a lovely time? What gifts did you get? Anything crafty? Did you do anything nice? Luckily, we were all well by Christmas Day. Well enough for me to cook the dinner. So we had a nice, fairly quiet Christmas. Just, you know, ate nice food, played games, watched telly, chilled out, and then the day after Boxing Day, I think it was when my daughter went into hospital. So I went and stayed at her house to look after my 3 grandchildren until, I think I was there 3 days, till she came home with our new baby. So that was fun as well, but tiring. So yeah, it's quite an exciting Christmas in our household. Trying not to be so violent with this now, to keep the noise down. So I'm going to put some glue there to get one over the top of the other, and then I'm going to stick, say, some lace or something on there, along here, to strengthen that a bit. Right, it's big blobs here. So yeah, this glue is quite nice. It'll be interesting to see how it actually sticks. Although I am spreading it all over the place there. It's oozing a bit. Where's the lid? So, should I stick a bit of lace on now? Or shall I wait and see what I'm going to do? I've got some bits and pieces out here ready, because I knew I would be wanting to use lace. I've got some crochet trim. Might be nice. I just feel like I should stick something on there now while that glue has oozed out and it's sticky. Right, let's see what's going to happen when we. Yeah, it's not stuck particularly well on the edge there. It's very, very wet. Hopefully when it's dry it will be all right. So while that's drying, I think that edge will be all right. This edge is going to need trimming, and the top and the bottom are going to need trimming. I think I want to let that dry a bit first. So what to do next? Oh dear, look, that's tearing where it's so wet. It's definitely going to need something on there, isn't it? Just deciding what would look better. The lace trim. That's sort of the right width as well, isn't it? I mean, a lot of this is probably, well, it may well be covered up when I finish the rest of the cover. I haven't decided what I'm doing yet. Right, let's put some fabric glue on there and stick that down. Which way round did this need to go? Can't really tell, so it probably doesn't really matter, does it? So I'm just putting fabric glue where this, in the middle, where these more solid bits are. I'll lay this down and then I'll do the edges. And I want the frilly bit towards the front. blimmin' dog hair stuck there now. Right. Sorry, I've gone quiet again, haven't I? Oops. I'm just trying to think what other news I've got. My middle daughter has a new contract, so she will be leaving again next weekend, and she has, her contract is till November, but she gets the odd week's holiday here and there through that time. I think she gets 2 weeks off, and she's also managed to get the dates off for my eldest daughter's wedding, which is good because she's a bridesmaid. So she was lucky to get that, because a lot of performing contracts over the summer, you know, you can't take time off. If she was on a cruise or something, she wouldn't have been able to get home for the wedding. That would have been a shame. But she is going to miss a lot of the new baby growing up. I mean, she's going to leave next weekend. The baby will be like 2 weeks old. And, you know, next time she sees her, she'll be, you know, she won't be a newborn anymore anyway, depending on when she gets her first lot of holiday. And then my youngest daughter, she had a contract up over Christmas. She worked up till Christmas Eve, so she's now gone back to her, what do they call it, their muggle jobs. She has a couple of, she has a gig in London, not a gig, but you know, she's been employed to perform in London for one night in February, and then she's also up for a job locally, so hopefully that will all turn out. I don't know why I keep bending this before it's dry. I know it needs to dry, and I'm trying to bend it. Right, my hands are very sticky, so let's just give them a wipe and have a look at what we might do on the cover. Oh. Right, so Claire had an image and some bits of lace. I could do with trimming this down really so I can see exactly what size I'm working with. I wonder if it's dry enough at the edges yet for me to try and trim. Let's have a go and see what happens. If the edges end up a bit tatty, I can always stick some more lace down the edges, can't I? And that will look pretty as well. Right, so let's try and, oh, I'm cutting on my glue mat. It's a bit silly, isn't it? Cut straight through that. Cutting through the cover and not through the paper here. Marvellous. It's better. I know I could trim this with scissors, but I'll never get a straight line if I do that. Right, that's that bit. I'm not making this seem too complicated. I'm putting you off giving it a try. I've got the lace there as well. I'm not going to worry too much about the lace. I can trim that with scissors if necessary. Think of what other news I have for you. Max has been being taken out by some very lovely ladies every week for the last, I think we started at the beginning of November. If you haven't been here before, Max is a Sprocker Spaniel, which is a cross between a Springer Spaniel and a Cocker Spaniel. So we always knew he was going to be mad as a box of frogs, but he was a lockdown puppy. Oh, I'm on that. I'm in that again. And so obviously when we used to take him out for walks, when we first had him, he was, you know, there was nobody around. There were no other dogs around. Nobody came to the house. Nobody knocked at the door. And so since things have gone back to normal, Max has had very bad anxiety, which I never knew was a thing in dogs. I've had dogs all my life. I've never had a dog like Max. So he goes absolutely ballistic when anybody comes to the door or walks past or anything really. We can't have anyone come to the house. We can't take him anywhere. So he's been a bit of a nightmare, and we found some very lovely local ladies who are dog walkers and trainers, and we took Max to meet them, and they said yes, they can work with him, because obviously we're coming up to my daughter's wedding, as I say, in the summer. And I'm going to be away. We're all going to be away for 2 days because she's getting married in a venue that's in the middle of nowhere. So we need to stay the night before and obviously the night of the wedding. I've got a lot of dirty bits on there. Oh, they're brushing off, that's all right. Right, so that's the size of my cover. Now, as I say, Claire used an image and some lace. And I was rummaging through bits I already had out, and I found an image. There it is. I thought it might be too big. I thought this lady looks like she's writing secret things in her journal, so I thought she might be good on there. So let's cut her out and see what she looks like. Yeah, so we're sort of coming up to crunch time with Max. I need to find something to do with him for 2 nights while we're away, and there are only really 2 people that I could leave him with, and both of them are going to be at the wedding, so they're not going to be able to have Max. So I went and met with these trainers, because obviously as well you think, am I being over dramatic, you know? And they said, no, you definitely couldn't leave him in kennels, because no one would be able to get into him. You know, he wouldn't be able to be fed, he wouldn't be able to be let out. And obviously we couldn't get somebody to come to the house because he won't let anyone come to the house. So it's going to be a bit of a nightmare. I was really worried about what I was going to do. So they have been taking Max out on pack walks. So he's out with, you know, a group of other dogs. to get him used to other dogs. And he's definitely much calmer than he was. Oh, that fits on there quite nice. I thought it might be too big. So that's good. We can already see an improvement in that short space of time. And they're now thinking about taking him out to markets and boot fairs and things, you know, to try and start getting him used to people being around. So it's all looking very positive. So, you know, even if the worst comes to the worst, if Max can't go and stay anywhere, or we can't have anyone to stay here to have him, we will get to the point where they will be able to come and let themselves in and take him for a walk and feed him 2 or 3 times a day over those couple of days. So that's good. That's a weight off my mind. I think I might just do a great big piece of lace underneath that underneath the whole picture, because it's also covering up these perforations. So I think I'm going to do that. So let's cut this about here. And yes, I am using my paper scissors and being very naughty, but I haven't got my sewing box out, so I don't have my fabric scissors to hand. And what's that about? About here at the top. Oops. So we could have, again, oh yeah, it does go out that way round. That might be a bit too much, yes. Don't need that. And also this needs a bit more glue up here. I wonder if glue stick would do it. I think I'm going to have to go around this quite extensively with some extra glue once it's dried enough for me to handle. So yeah, I was thinking of having lots of bits of lace on this, you know, not matching, or let's go up here. Scrappy lace bits was what I had in mind. Don't know if it's going to work out like that. You know, you have these things in mind when you're making a journal, and they very rarely turn out the way you initially envisioned, do they? So she looks quite nice on there, doesn't she? And we've got a bit of gold. I don't know if you can see that on that pic. This image is from Yvonne Preston's Ko-fi site, I believe. It was a freebie. So yeah, I was showing you the gold. Did I point that out? Did you see it? There's a gold inner frame around that picture, so that picks out the gold in the background there, all, you know, not that you can see it. So now I'm wondering, do I want anything else on there? Bearing in mind we're supposed to be just using what we have. I wonder if I can put a little bit of extra gold around the edges there. Come out. This is printed just on normal 80 GSM copy paper. So it's very flimsy. I'm not sure whether I should back it onto something or not. I don't think so, because it is just going to be stuck down there. I mean, ideally I'd like to sew that, but obviously this cover's too thick to be sewn. But I could sew it to the lace and then stick it down, possibly. Do I want anything else on there before I'm thinking now maybe this would have been better in the background because it sort of goes better with that crochet trim. don't know. I think I like the subtlety of this better. But maybe, just wondering if there's a motif I could cut out of that I could add on here. Let's have a look. Is there anything? I'm just snipping a little bit of this out to see if it would look nice. So what I've got coming up over the next few weeks, obviously I'm working on this all year. I'm doing my next design team project. I'm just collating the papers for that, so I'll be recording a video for that probably tomorrow, and it will go up maybe on Tuesday. That's my design team project for Sunny Creates, and then at the end of the month you'll see a video go up. I think mine's due on the 27th of January, but I need to double check that. I'm doing a collaboration with Faux Crafts Creations, so I've again just collating the papers for that to make a start. I wonder whether that looks all right. Right, well, I've been going on for almost an hour now, I think, so I think I'm going to leave it there. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to stitch this to the lace off camera and stick it down, so then when you come back next time you'll see this cover finished to that point. I'll have a think about this, or whether I want something else. I don't know if it needs anything because it's got those roses. I don't know, I'm gonna have a think, but this really needs to dry before I can start fiddling about with it anymore. So you've seen how to create the cover, you've seen me faff about with a bit of decoration. So Claire's next video is due out on Friday, so my next video will be out shortly after that. So thank you for watching today, thank you for coming back and joining me after such a long absence. Take care, look after yourselves, and enjoy your own crafty time. Bye bye.